Well done. We're playing. It's French defense. Here, there is d4 is the main move. Birchman is coming in the sink. Main move, d5. There's actually e6, b6 that you can play here. It's an interesting move order. But yeah, d5. There's two ways to play the French. You can play takes. Oh, he's playing the Vinawa. Okay, and c5. Jinx has studied his French, and let's see. Does okay, interesting move order. So I would say that the most common idea is taking here. But the fact that he didn't tells me that he's studied at least a bit. Here there's actually a move order. No, here. And that's a known position. So we'll see if that's played, or if knight c6 is played. No, knight d7. This is not quite how you want to play it, because the French bishop is known to be bad. Okay, e5, fantastic. Here, there's knight c3. Again, the Vinawa is completely playable, but better is actually to have the knight on d2 and playing c3, so that when the structure trades, that you can lock down the center still. And white will have a bit of a space advantage. Here, there's just this, and you trade this pawn off. And so when this takes, you can play f4. And in this position, you know, I think white is slightly better, but it is not so clear, you know? And yeah, so knight takes e5. Black is probably doing just fine after f4. I mean, they're up pawn. There's not much more to it. And f4 is played. That is the wrong tab to open on the screen. Fantastic. So here there's probably most reasonable is knight c6. Because white has actually no central pawns anymore, this is, despite the fact that this bishop kind of sucks, there is some ways to play around it. How's Brandon playing book moves so well? Well, I think that he's out of book. He blundered a pawn, which is a bit rough, but yeah. After this, you can't play e5 once this pawn has already been committed. You have to trade in the center. But yeah, here, just easily the best move is knight here. And so it's played. What can white do here? Probably develop a bishop. Maybe bishop e2, look to castle. The idea of having pushed this pawn is that you'll be able to castle and your rook will be there. But this, I'm not such a fan of this. It weakens the king side a bit too much, and these pawns can always go on a minority attack. Can we make an exception of only being able to use engine moves into Jinx? No. So you can take here. White is doing slightly better than expected here. Knight f6, probably the easiest move to make here. Second easiest move to make is probably b6, bishop to b7, and you know, trying to make some sort of central attack. So knight f6 played as expected. Again, bishop e3, bishop e2, bishop d3. Probably bishop e3 is best, and then long castles. There's also... yeah, bishop e3. I mean, bishop d2 maybe. But I think that this is fine. Obviously, there's bishop g2, you know, justifying the opening of the long diagonal. Yeah, bishop g2. There's some pretty simple moves that you can make here as black. Bishop g5 hangs, bishop b4 rather hangs with bishop, so you definitely don't want to play that. Although I suppose there is bishop. So yeah, b6 played, a respectable move. Here, again, bishop e3. Maybe bishop d2 is better now, but yeah, it's very nice position for black. So b3 instead, looking to activate the bishop along this diagonal. There's a bit of congestion, but it can be done. Here you want to justify your piece movement. It's actually bishop c5 now, because this pawn now defends this square. So maybe better is all the way to bishop c5. Now that it attacks the queen, queen has to move. Where does the queen move? Probably just down to d3. Yeah, d3 looks fine. I'm not certain what Jinx is thinking about. There is really just one way to play here, and that is just activate your bishops. They're down a bit in development, but you've got a very nice central bind, so you might as well activate your pieces. Alright, queen a4 instead. Here, bishop d7 is very strong. It's you have to be careful because the queen can get chased around a lot here. Almost, yeah. So the idea is here, here, here. And obviously, if bishop back, I mean, at the very least, you get a draw. But instead of back, this is the only square. Instead of back, there's probably some queen c7 threatening this. You can do a very fancy trade like that, and well, this is hit, and it's not actually possible to defend two pieces at once in that position. So, assuming that Jinx sees it, then he will be up a piece in a few moves. But bishop d6. That was a mouselet, evidently. Yeah, I would probably just play rook c8, queen c7. But knight e4, and there's actually an idea here. You can play knight takes knight, and then after pawn takes, a lot of the issues with this diagonal have now been lifted, because you'll be able to take back the pawn. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, you'll attack this rook, and the rook will have to move. And will be quite nicely placed. Brandon sees that. Only move here is to take back. Not sure what Jinx is really thinking about. And takes. And here, again, maybe queen f6, looking to attack this rook. There might be castles. Castle's a bit depressing. I mean, you have to move this rook, so I guess rook. Rook c8. Queen f6. Jinx is being very precise. Obviously, if this and this and then this falls as well, you can't castle into check. Yes, some very, very strong showing from Jinx. Here, rook b1, basically the only move. No, because you lose the bishop as well. King d1, do you really want to have to deal with rook d1 and then some discovered check and losing your queen? Don't forget that the queen is almost trapped. Rook doesn't go to d1 because bishop trades. Okay, so let's say takes. Okay, yeah. So let's say takes. And so this line is played. So here, I mean, let's say king d1. I mean, you can even renew the threat with king e7, and then you attack this, and you also threaten to come back here. But king e2... Is king e2 actually the most precise way to play this? That's fucked up. And Jinx blunders his queen. Fantastic. Impeccable. So, if you've watched the most recent video, Insane Elo Hack, you will know that the pilgrimage tech is officially regarded by International Master Levi Rosman as the best choice. Okay, he plays queen back to f6, which is 51? Is white not actually doing like quite okay after rook d1? Yeah, there's take back. Yeah, here Brandon plays rook d1. King moves up, and I don't think he realizes that after this, there's this. Called the capture chain. You always have to look for that sort of thing. Don't forget that also comes with check. And when the king goes up to something like here, is there something else? Probably not. You can just develop, I don't know, bishop to here, I guess. Yeah, and so rook takes. There's actually rook takes here, and then check. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, Brandon's been playing like he has the Sharingan all game. I'm not gonna lie. He's been playing some pretty good chess.